All right, people. I'm so sorry. I cut it off. I realized I was almost an hour and I didn't want to stop. And then when I came back, I realized that I was already in an hour, and also I forgot to transition so you can see the document. But no worry, all those documents will be sent to Lee, where she will be able to add those documents with talking with the planet. Okay, so I don't know how she's gonna do that. That's her thing. She's doing it, and she's responsible for that. I'm sending her the file, and she do what she has to do. So those documents are going to be sent to her. But we need to keep going here. I want to get through that file, which is the biggest, has 11 pages. So now that I have transitioned properly, and you can see that we were here, that Wayne asked to Earth what was the evil. uh, Earth respond, there are many negative entity and influence that start within the human population, but the most threatening come from dimension that are bleeding into our dimension. This could be this could become very catastrophic. And the reason why those beings are here, it is caused by um, I think that CERN has something to do with that, and also the ring of Saturn, and it's all linked together. So we gotta find out what's going on. Actually, we were told once that our greatest weapon in this universe, this reality, is love. So, hey, people, I'm saying, what the heck you got to lose? This is our greatest weapon. So, hug people, have love for everything. It's not an easy task. I'm the first to say it, okay? It's not an easy task. But just do it. Just put your intention into it. And that's all I can say. Because that's what I did. I just put my intention into it, and this is what happened to me right now. I'm in all this. So let's get going. Because Wayne's gonna say I digress too much. All right. Then Wayne says, "Does the Earth know the Creator? Can the Earth tell us what the Creator is like? Are you female? The creator of everything is very, very wise and very, very old. Think of them as all consciousness in one existence that is the creator. I am considered female." So that's what that was coming from Earth. And here we got a question from Wayne. Her, do you know of Lilith? This female goddess was the first female on earth. She is, in fact, my family. So she, instead of reading Finnish, she wrote fin, which is French. Weird. Anyway, the next question Wayne read is one for the planet and is quite long. So Wayne says, do the planet operate from a soul growth perspective? And then it goes on to say, and if so, what happened when they graduate? Do they receive guidance from other soul or other type of helpers? I would love to know if they incarnate and grow. There is a lot of question there. So I would say let's ask the first one of the planet, Patrick, if they operate from a soul perspective. The chart answered, there is a spiritual aspect to our individual entity, but Term soul does not identify the true relationship between us. We are one spiritually. Finish. Okay. Then Wynn says, Earth, are you tilting more on your axis at norm the axis that normal? And Earth says yes. May we ask, as the sun change position from where you are, Earth? Earth respond. The sun is in fact at its original position within the solar system. The planet and moons are changing their orbit and their rotation speed, and they are also tilting. This is due primarily to outside forces that are affecting the attraction of planet and moons. Finish. Well, it makes sense that if we are traveling into a new region of space that the planet never been to, that we are going to be attracting uh, other planet or lose some, and it's affecting everything because we are in a place we're not supposed to be. We've never been before. Then when Wayne says, Earth, are you about to flip your magnetic pole? This process is underway, although it will take time to complete. This is going to be a difficult time for people who dwell on the surface. Those beneath, not so much. So that's why they are freaking building bunkers all over the world and blowing bombs and hurting the planet, and because they know that this is going to come up and they want to protect themselves and they want to go underground, and that's probably why they are in battle with the people, the civilization that lives underground, because if I'd be underground, I wouldn't want anyone from the surface to come underground. You know, this is my house. I say if I want visitor or not, right? Then the question was asked, Earth may maybe speak to you, or may we, maybe. Thank you. Mother, there is a question that has been asked. Is the creator the image of a female or the image of something else? Earth frequency respond. The original creator consciousness is female. Okay. So if the original consciousness is female, that might be the reason why um, most of religion has deleted the feminine aspect of their Bible and made it all male, and this is why they say that this reality is turned upside down because we are worshiping a male god, a fake god to begin with, and then male, and when the original creator consciousness is female. So that's one of the kind of lie that, you know we like the disclosure on that. I do like the disclosure on that kind of stuff. Imagine. Anyway, then another question, Mother Earth, we'd like to ask you, what are your feeling about the being that live underground? Are they real? There are many different species beneath the ground. They are primarily descendant from the original occupant of this planet. You human are alien. Okay. So that means if we are alien, are we that mean the last reset, the great flood, the people underneath, they didn't come back to repopulate the civilization. That's how it make me feel right now. So then where do we come from? Let's continue. Mother Earth, the question that has been debated lately. Are you round, a globe, or are you flat? Okay, right here. Stop, stop, stop. Wait, you didn't do your homework. Well, actually, we didn't had any transcript for that. And that was before I worked with Patrick. I personally did ask this question. Now I remember the answer. I don't remember this one. Yeah, I got the same answer. I did. Okay, so Earth frequency respond in this physical reality. I am spherical. In my spiritual form, I am physical. Spherical. So she's spherical in her physical and spiritual form. But when I did ask the question, the answer was just yes. But then, well, Earth frequency said, in a dimension, I am spherical, and in another dimension, I am flat. So, okay, in this reality, she's spherical in both physical and spirituality in this dimension. In another dimension, she would be flat physically and spiritually. In another dimension, I wonder if those planets connect with themselves from other dimension, and if they do, is it because you know, this was broken, the doorway, and they were fractured, and but before the fracture, were they able to tell stuff like that? Do they communicate with their higher self from other dimension? I don't know if I would want that. I got enough with this dimension. I gotta say, that's well enough for me. Let's move on. Then Earth, another question. May we speak with you again? Yes, thank you. Earth, the question has been asked. Do you have another name that you are known by? The name that have been given that have been given me are numerous, but all are false. I have no name. I have a frequency signature that is unique. And for us to understand to what planet we're talking to Earth, and all the planet, they want to be called frequency. But if we call all the planet frequency and just frequency, we won't it's going to be difficult for us to know which frequency we're talking to. That's why we include before the word frequency the name of the planet, so we can focus our intention really good, you know. Let's keep going. This is a question for Earth. Is there a stargate on Earth? Earth frequency reply, there are multitude of stargate throughout the planet. They are primarily to transport many different rays from throughout the galaxy and further throughout the universe. Also, there are a few that travel interdimensionally, and there is one only that travel through time. Okay, here, right here, there is one only one that traveled to time. And I remember in Ask Patrick we had that question, and the question was about that stargate that was um, photographed right next to the sun that Mr. MB333 showed us. And I'm sure you can go in this on his website and you can find that. And it really does look like a Stargate, like the movie Stargate SG-1. And when we asked the question, it was the answer was that this is a Stargate, but it is used to travel time. So I'm assuming this is the only one because here we got the answer before we ask about that picture that there is only one. So we spotted it. Stargate, you spotted. So then next question, Earth. The question we have, and we're very respectful on this. Do you know Lilith? Once again, same question twice. Same question twice. Earth frequency. Yes, as mentioned before. Hear that? As mentioned before. We are all in a classroom with these planets. We are here to learn from them. So if you don't listen when they talk, if you don't take notes, if you don't do your homework, well, you're not going to pass your test at the end, at the end of the class. So that's why we say, please don't miss a show. Go back and watch the show. And on top on top of it, we go a step further for you guys. And Lee brought to us those incredible transcripts that we can work with you, and they are available, and you can look to it, and you just don't, and you keep on asking the same question. So start by learning what's already out there before to put a question. Make sure you don't repeat that, because when Patrick says they don't like repeating themselves, it's like having a classroom of 20 individual. One is asking a question, you answer, and then another one is asking the same question, and they all ask you the same question. Nobody's listening to, to the question and answer from the person very next door, I may say. I mean, right next to you. You only listen to only your question and answer you are receiving because you asked the question. But it's not important who has the question, the answer is important. And if we keep on asking over and over and over and over the same question, I don't think that this is how we going to test them as their accuracy of their information if we need to test them. But in the meantime, I mean, come on, if you want to test somebody, change your question. That's how I feel. Okay, so anyway, Earth says, yes, as mentioned before, we are family. We have a family bond that surpass all connection. There is a frequency consciousness connection that surpass all understanding. Finish. Then on another show here, yeah, this is exactly what I said. I did copy and paste. We just asked that question in this document. So imagine this 11 pages being one conversation. Would you ask this question twice? No, well, you got to remember, what you asked before, even if you don't do that every day. You got to keep track of those things. I mean, put yourself in the shoe of a teacher and you will understand. So the previous question was, Earth, do you know Lilith? And Earth said, this female goddess was the first female on Earth. She is in fact my family. We were lucky here. We got like somehow a different response. But Earth frequencies, she took care to mention to us, yes, as I mentioned before. All right, let's move on. Earth frequency. We have a question for you. You had said there are many type of being inside of you. Is there's an entrance that is inside that is safe to enter for those being, and are they friendly to humankind? There are many entrances that exist throughout this world. The most used is a boat pole, although the subterranean bunker that are being constructed are creating new entrants. There are different races here, and most are benevolent. Some, unfortunately, are malevolent. Malevolent. There has been war between those from below with the surface population. These have been ignored by your history, but not the history of those below. They have a lawful claim on this planet. You do not. Okay, this is weird. These have been ignored by your history, but not the history of those below. They have a lawful claim on this planet. I would like to have more precision on this. What Earth frequency means by a lawful claim. Yeah, I would like to know about that. Let's move on. Earth frequency. Do you know of the Elohim? Yes, they have been exerting influence upon this solar system for many, many eons of time. They are not to be trusted. Okay, we won't trust the Elohim. Personally, about trust, how I feel is that anything or anyone that comes to me, if if it's a person or even a frequency or an animal, well, to me, I say, you want my trust, you must gain it. You start at zero, just like everybody else. You gain it. If you lose it, it's gonna be hard to gain it back. But there's still a possibility you can still do it. It's gonna be hard, but you can still do it. And if you go in the minus, I say forget about it. Forget about it. You will never recover zero. You will always remain in the minus. And it's only fair. I think I can be fooled by someone once, and mea culpa. I've learned my lesson. But if the same person is fooling me a second time, then it is completely my responsibility to assume the consequence of giving my trust to somebody that doesn't deserve it for a second time. So, yeah, don't lose my trust if you don't want to have to gain it back or lose it completely, because this can happen too. The question has been asked of the Elohim. Do you remember when they arrived? Earth says, these being called Elohim. Oh, I just read that. Sorry, people. No. The question has been asked of the Elohim. Do you remember when they arrived? This being called the Elohim arrived many, many millennia ago and have performed many, many experiments upon the population of Earth. This is not very pleasing to me. I have grown very affectionate for human. So, uh, we just read that somewhere. And this was January. This was in the number 4 we just been through. Okay. So that's why I put it there. See, number 4, we asked that here and we ask again. Anyway, let's keep going. Then heard, are there going to be increasing volcanic activity and earthquake activity? Earth respond, there are many new volcanoes being formed and new land mass being created. There will however, also be loss of land. Unfortunately, some will be inhabit, inhabited. Okay, the kind of word I have a hard time. Then Earth Frequency says, the audience would like to know, do you have a spirit as we think of spirit? Earth Frequency says, yes and no. The kind of answer I got. I have an individual spirit that is tied to my physical form. I also have a spirit that is part of the collective of this solar system. We are all connected in many different ways. There is no limit to the possibility. No limit to the possibility, just like a computer. Yeah. We need to ask Earth if we can speak to her. Yes, thank you, ma'am. Earth, it has been noticed that your frequency, which we call the Schumann frequency, is off. Can you tell us why? Earth frequency, there is a frequency change happening throughout the solar system. Planet and moons are also changing frequency. This is to prepare ourselves for what lies ahead. Finish. From Truth Seeker, we had the question. Earth, the question is to you, ma'am. You mentioned previously that humans are alien on Earth. Are we human? Where are humans originally come from or home to? Thank you. So the human species was created here, but is not an Earth creation. Many different alien races experimented on the creature that were here and added some of their own DNA. That is why there are many different human races, such as African, Chinese, India, etc. It depends upon the amount and the type of alien DNA. This is relating to the physical body. The spiritual essence inside come from far across the universe. Then another question for Earth. Earth is it it has been talked about among men that there were giants that walked the earth. Is this true? And what were they? Earth says giants still walk the earth. They are originally from Tiamat. Tiamat is the planet that exploded, and Mars was the moon of Tiamat. So when Tiamat exploded, Mars became a planet, and there were a giant from Tiamat that managed to escape and come to Earth, and that's where they come from. Then Earth, we are measuring with our equipment increased amount of cosmic ray. Is this doing damage to you? Thank you. Mostly there is damage, but I am strong enough to recover quickly. This happen regularly. Well, oh, thank you. I'm happy to know that. Patrick asks if he can ask a question here. Earth frequency. It is okay if I speak with you? Yes. We have noticed that when you answer our question, we feel your emotion. Why is that? And this is a very important answer. Listen to this, guys. The art of communication is not just speech. You must also transmit your present emotion to validate your intent. This eliminates the ability to lie. If I were to tell you a lie, you would feel it. Communication is very, very complex. What can I say but common sense to me, but not to everyone. And it is clear to me. How can I explain this differently to you? I mean, let's just think about my recap too. I did think about that video we saw, that guy that was making those noise. Why everybody was had wet eye, tears. Everybody got touched because this guy was not using words, but with the noise he was making, he was using high frequency language to speak directly to your heart. And this is why some people did cry during this show. Do you get it? I hope you do. I sure do hope you do. Then earth frequency. This is Wayne. How are you doing? And now we can see that you are evolving your connection with them, Wayne. Then Earth says, I'm very well, Wayne. Thank you. Wayne, Earth, Wayne says, Earth, I need to ask you, do you know the serpent? Earth, this little, this title is misleading. The serpent is Lilith. Then Wayne asks Earth, is she trapped here? Earth replied, not trapped, but reluctant to leave. There is much she wants to do, but she was prevented from doing this when the masculine side seized power. Even your Bible has had the feminine remove finish. This is what I said a little earlier in this document, you know. Then Wayne asks, it says, thank you, Mother. I have one more question, ma'am. Are there human soul trapped here? Yes. Hmm. Okay. Then Earth frequency. The question, Mother, is this, can the planet manifest into physical form? Thank you. This has always been the case. Multiple individual at once across multiple timeline. We are very, very powerful. No wonder I'm connected with Uranus. All right. Then may we speak with Earth frequency, please? Yes, thank you. Earth, it has been asked, do you die like mortal do? No. Do you have an ending? No. There is a change of frequency and energy. It happened to all the planet. Finish. Earth frequency, may we ask, are you a different type of energy than a mortal soul? Yes. Wayne says, is this an ascension process to where a spirit that is a mortal man, Earth? Can they ascend to a place where you are at? Yes. Very encouraging. Love you, Earth frequency. I love you so much. I will follow you. So then we, uh, how long is this video now? Okay, we're good. Okay, so next, since we have you heard frequency, here is another question. Many people here on Earth are looking for ways in order to find good water and preserve it. Could you tell us anything that would help us. And we had that question also on Ask Patrick, so you can go and just check out the transcript. The importance of good water cannot be underestimated. There can be problem keeping it healthy. You must have sufficient supply for a period of at least a month. There will be droughts. Finish. Earth frequency. The question is regarding water, are there yet unexplained way of obtaining drinking water? Yes. The surface supply of water can easily be contaminated. The sub-earth supply cannot. There will come a time and when the inner and surface being must work together to survive. Finish. Earth frequency. It is I again. Can we speak? Yes, Wayne. Wayne chuckles and says, "You are beautiful." Ma'am, last week it was observed in the northern hemisphere of the aurora that a green dragon appeared that shouldn't have. Can you tell us what happened? These are an example of beings that have always been here, but you have not seen them. The time is now when more shall be seen, and then they shall be here. Finish. Those are the dragons. And at this point, this is where we had the conversation of with I think it was with Firebird. I don't know if I put it here because it started with Earth. So I don't know if I put it here or in the dragon one. I can't remember at this point. Earth frequency. One more question, if I may, ma'am. How far does the firmament extend around you? There really is no limit. Finish. Are the firmament within this kingdom Earth? Kingdom is the wrong terminology. There are a place where the frequency collect which are in tune. Okay. There are places where the frequencies collect which are in tune. Okay. Kingdom is the wrong terminology, and there are places where not sure I understand that one, but I'm not sure I comprehend. Sorry, but uh, I'm sure later on it will make sense. Earth frequency, may we speak? Yes, thank you, ma'am. The question has been if you can tell us which yoga, and then we have a link here on Wikipedia, we are in. This is not important. Next question. That was clear. Like, they don't want to waste their time being asked, should I drink my pee? You know, that was something funny. Anyway, then Wayne asked, when was the last younger Dryas? Another link of Wikipedia. The younger Dryas was returned to glacial condition, which temporarily uh, re- reversed the gradual climate warming after the last glacial maximum started receding around 12,000 BP. Period. I've asked the question. Then Earth frequency replied to this. Well, I gotta tell you guys, I don't understand this question at all. I don't comprehend the question. So let's see the answer. The time frame is different than expected. We are much, much older that you are taught. These different time period of our ages are billions of years apart. It does not influence human. Wow. Then Earth frequency. The question has been asked, do you know of any terrestrial or non-terrestrial that are engaged in éradication en français. Yeah, I got no problem in French. In English, it's something else. Eradication of the human race. Then Earth frequency. This has been accepted throughout the galaxy for eons. There is a force that wants to enslave human, but they have become, as a species, unreliable. Therefore, their future is in doubt. Finish. So this is very encouraging to me. I mean, their future is in doubt. That means our future is quite, brilliant. It's looking forward to be brilliant. So if their future is in doubt, our future is going to be brilliant. That's how I see it. Then I have another question for her. Has there been any deity that has tried to curse you, and do these curses actually affect you? So-called deity are false god. They have influence, but not control. Way to go. Earth frequency, may we speak with you? Then, yes. Hello, Wayne. Hello, good to talk to you, ma'am. We've had a question. People wants to know, are you growing inside? This question has been asked of me before. I am expanding. I am expanding as part of the change that is happening to me. My frequency is getting stronger. I need to make room for the extra power that will be generated. There is time approaching where I will need more strength as all planets are under attack. We have a plan. We will win. Oh, yes, ma'am, we will win. And I'm with you on that. Earth frequency. The question is two part here, ma'am. We'd like to know. There is a question. Do you die like mortal do? And where do energies like yours go when there is a destruction of the body? Then the answer was, we do not die the same way, and should a catastrophe happen to our physical self, in this reality our spiritual self remain. An example you received last week when Tiamat spoke. Our true essence continue after the death of the physical finish. And I have a file for Tiamat. That's why it's not in here, okay? Here is only a question and answer for Earth frequency. Then, Earth frequency, how are you doing? I'm doing very well, Wayne. Thank you. Wayne says, we've had many requests, and I think this is a sign of respect of what people are learning. May we have permission to call you Mother Earth? And she replied, I personally do not need to be reminded that I am your mother. If it makes you feel happy, you can do so. Then Wayne says, thank you, thank you. Well, I see you as a magnificent being. So, Earth, the question has come, ma'am. Are you preparing for a large seismic event in North America? Thank you. Preparing is the wrong word. There will be seismic event around the whole the whole planet, not just in the American continent. Then Earth frequency, how are you? I'm very well, Wayne. Although there have been some upsetting event. Wayne says, "Would you care to elaborate, ma'am?" Pat's Earth frequency says, I have, as mentioned before, grown fond of the human population, and it saddened me when I see all the killing and death, especially concerning young children. Wayne says, "Yes, we are learning, Mother Frequency. That's all I can say. We are learning." Ma'am, we have a question, and I'll read to you the question as it was presented. The question is, there is a prophecy in all culture on earth religion called the solar flash, in which those that are righteous will be transmuted into their light body with their full memory restored, and those that are evil, like the dark ruler of this realm, will be burned up like chaff. Is there any truth or validity to this prophecy? I just need a sip of coffee. Thank you. The nerd frequency respond. This subject was touched upon when you spoke with the sun last week. The sun is going through changes, giving off energy and frequency. This increase in energy and frequency and power will activate a vast majority of human population. This will activate their ability. This will raise their frequency. Obviously, those who live their lives more negatively will not achieve that height of frequency. And burn is probably the wrong word. They will simply be left behind. I'm not sure what left behind can mean here. Thank you, Earth Frequency. You spoke of being living on the inside of you. Can you provide more understanding as to who or what they are, and are they original inhabitant? And the answer was, they are the original inhabitant of the earth. There was an invasion, for want of a better phrase, that happened. Many alien race came, primarily the reptilian. They engineered the current humans. They made them breed. They subjugated them. They treated them as livestock. They adopt many people. Here, I do not like adopt as for word. Uh, Adoption to me, no, this is not an adoption. When you are being taken away against your will, this is a kidnapping. So if you take an animal and do experiment on it, or take an animal and kill it for the meat, and this is a kidnapping. This is the right word, kidnapping. They kidnap many people every year, and they get transported to different planets and moons throughout the solar system and further afield to harvest the mineral content of these planets and moons. Now, we I've seen uh, many video of whistleblower people, that were with the military that got taken away like that, brought to Mars, do some work for years and years and years, and then to some technology being, they call it age reversal, where they can reverse your aging. Okay, they make you go back to to how you were when you left, and they bring you back. And in the beginning, when they take you, they say that when they're gonna bring you back, you're gonna be rich. But guess what? They come back, and in the process of the regression, they lose their memory, and they come back here and they have no money and they don't know what to do, and they lose the memory, and then they end up at the sea, and then they end up doing, you know, hypnosis thing, and all everything come back to surface, and it's not like just one person, it's thousands of people. Okay, it is a massive undertaking. Here it says the original inhabitant went underground and they have successfully survived and are there now. They do come to the surface, not very often, but they do. They have what they would call a search party. They search for people they can help. They are alien race on Earth who are fighting at this time with the army of several of your government. That government, huh? Wow. Can we take a break on that one? Holy crap. When explained that he had other questions for Earth, but she answered them with that response. So that's the proof that they already know the question we are going to ask, even if you write it down or not. And when you ask a question, you always, in the answer, you always get more than what you asked for. Then here, that's me, Caro. That was the last, actually, the last episode of Talking with the Planet. Here I said, Earth frequency. Lauren Wagner would like to know if they were from Alpha Draconis. And Earth frequency respond somewhere, but they come from further afield. It is what's the human phrase you would use? It is a conspiracy of many different participants. And that was the last question. So here we are, and up to 53 minutes, 2 hours with Earth frequency. So, wow. Wasn't it something? And that was just Earth frequency, 2 hours. So, here I want to focus on on the fact that if we want to learn with the planet, we need to unite. We need to learn all at the same time. If you miss a class, you can go back and watch the video and get all the answer before to put another question. If you didn't watch the video and you come back to, if you didn't watch the last video and you had put the question and your answer gets into the video you didn't watch, and then you come back to the video after and you ask your question again, I'm like, dude, go do your homework. On this, we are done with the file with Earth frequency, and I wish you all love and thank you for all your your good wishes for me. And I hope you like this recap. It's not over. We got I got more files to go through, and we're gonna go through them all. Okay. See you next time. Bye bye.